More on why a judge denied Mark Handy's plea deal and where this case goes from here.
Today was supposed to be the sentencing hearing for former police detective Mark Handy, but after the judge in this case rejected his plea agreement, this case could be going to trial. Mark Handy was hoping to avoid time in prison, but the former Louisville police detective accused of framing several men on murder charges in the 90s will have to wait a little longer to learn of his fate.
My job is to decide whether or not the agreement is a fair one, and that it is not.
Jefferson Circuit Court Judge Olu Stevens rejected Handy's plea agreement, which would have let Handy avoid jail time while serving 5 years probation. In June, Handy pled guilty to a perjury charge stemming from a 1995 murder trial, when prosecutors say Handy lied on the witness stand, taped over evidence, and coerced a false confession from Edwin Chandler, who ended up serving 9 years in prison for the murder of Brenda Whitfield, a murder he did not commit.
I have no ill will towards anybody in this right now because it's just been too much time passed, and I've tried to piece my life together and continue to move on.
Chandler was exonerated in 2012. Louisville Metro government paid him $8.5 million in a settlement. Thursday morning, Handy apologized to Chandler.
I pray that he can forgive me someday, and I'll spend the rest of my life trying to make amends.
Judge Stevens said he was rejecting Handy's plea because the penalty needed to match the consequences Chandler had experienced.
What are we doing if someone can commit an offense like this and send someone to prison for 10 years, be a convicted felon for a period of time thereafter? What kind of system do we have?
After Stevens said he would have Handy serve his 5-year sentence in prison, Handy and his attorneys withdrew their plea. Handy's next hearing is scheduled for October 9th. In Louisville, Dennis Tang, WHAS 11 News.
A former LMPD detective confessed to lying under oath in a murder case that sent a man to prison for 9 years. Mark Handy pleaded guilty yesterday to perjury. Attorneys say he forced Edwin Chandler into a false confession, taped over video evidence, and lied at trial. Chandler was convicted in the 1993 murder of Brenda Whitfield and not fully exonerated until 2012. Metro government paid him $8.5 million for the wrongful conviction. Handy has also been accused of framing at least 2 other men for the killing, who were later cleared of their charges. He cut a plea deal for a probated 5 years, meaning no prison time, but Judge Olu Stevens has the final say, with sentencing set for next month.